All right, I want to welcome everybody to our Technology Thursday webinar for Thursday, July 12th. This is Brad Wagnon, and I am going to be talking to you today about a couple different topics. The first will be a very short tutorial on how to use Snapchat, and the second will be a little bit longer tutorial about how to use Twitter. Both Snapchat and Twitter are social media apps, and they're used to share things with people you know. And so we're going to talk a little bit about those today. But before we get started, I just want to remind you that we will have a leadership presentation on Tuesday, July 31st. And it will be at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. We'll be doing the same one both times. It will be at the OCO training room behind the restaurant of the Cherokees, and I will be talking to you about board recruitment. The title of the presentation is Board Recruitment on Purpose, from Cultivation to Celebration. So I want to invite you all to come join us Tuesday, July 31st for our leadership presentation. We'll be having food at both meetings, so come to whichever one you like. We also get to meet some of our new employees here at CCO. We have 3, so if you'd like to meet them, just come out and join us and eat with us and learn a little bit about board recruitment. So I want to go ahead and get started with our Technology Thursday webinar for today. So first thing we're going to talk about is Snapchat. So what is Snapchat? Snapchat is a free messaging and social networking app for smartphones. It's available for both Android and iOS. Snapchat allows you to send text messages, pictures, and short videos to friends and family. What makes Snapchat unique is that most of these messages are temporary. For example, after someone views a photo or video you've shared, it will disappear and cannot be used again. So why would you want to use Snapchat? While these temporary messages might sound a little bit impractical, they're actually a big part of what makes Snapchat so popular. Most social networks will save posts indefinitely, which can be a bit embarrassing after a few years. If you ever come across an unflattering photo on Facebook, this might sound familiar. So most things on Snapchat aren't permanent. It makes it easier to share silly photos, goofy videos. Snapchat also includes special features that let you add drawings and illustrations to your photos before sharing. Here's an example of a photo that you might share on Snapchat. If you don't like the idea of seeing something you can't see again, don't worry. The Memories feature allows you to save your favorite photos and videos to view again later. So to install Snapchat, all you have to do is go to your smartphone's app store. Once you've downloaded the app, simply open Snapchat and follow the instructions. You'll be able to connect with any of your existing contacts who already use Snapchat. So now that you've created a Snapchat account, you're ready to start using the app to send messages, which are called snaps. Note that many new users find app's interface confusing at first. Snapchat actually has a lot of different features and is not immediately obvious how they all work. So we're going to click the buttons below here to see how they work. This button here is the camera flash that turns your camera flash on and off. This button here is your profile. This is where you view your profile picture, add friends, or adjust your settings. This is the switch camera button. Tap here to switch between your front and rear facing camera on your smartphone. The inbox. Here you can view and reply to messages from your contacts. Memories. Tap here to save the current photo to your Snapchat memories. While most things you share on Snapchat are temporary, this feature will allow you to save your videos and photos for later. Stories. Tap here to swipe left to view stories. It makes it easier to share with all your friends at the same time from various websites. So those are the basics of using Snapchat. Told you it was going to be short. The best way to learn about all of Snapchat's features is to simply start using the app. Next, we're going to move on to Twitter. It'll be a bit longer of a webinar on Twitter with some videos attached as well. Twitter is another social media app or platform that you can use. So what is Twitter? Twitter is a social networking website that's designed for finding and sharing short updates. In fact, each post or tweet, as they're called on Twitter, is limited to just 140 individual characters. Tweets are so short that you might wonder why people bother posting them in the first place. That's actually a big part of what makes Twitter so popular. It's easy to quickly share what's happening in your world or follow along with a popular topic in real time. Take a look at a few of the other example tweets below to help you get a sense of what people share on Twitter. There's one from NASA. So we're going to watch a video here to learn more about Twitter.
Hey guys, I'm Bill from GCFLearnFree.org, and today I want to talk about Twitter. So, what is Twitter exactly? Maybe you've heard of it before and maybe not, but either way, it's important to know that Twitter is a social networking website. It's a bit like Facebook, but it's not really geared toward finding your friends or connecting with people you already know. At its core, Twitter is about sharing what's going on in your world and following along with topics that are important to you. Now, you can use Twitter from your desktop or laptop computer, but the most popular way to use Twitter is from a smartphone. That's because Twitter is so focused on real-time, in-the-moment updates about things that are happening right now. Since Twitter is so geared toward mobile users, we're primarily going to be demonstrating how to use Twitter from a smartphone. But if you're using a regular computer, you can still follow along. Twitter works basically the same way, no matter what device you're using. This is the Twitter app for a smartphone. Let's take a look at how it works. Okay, so this is the Twitter home screen, and from here we can see posts from people that we follow on Twitter. Every post on Twitter is called a tweet. As you can see, everything's really short. And that's because posts on Twitter are limited to just 140 characters, which isn't more than a few sentences. It's so little information that it might seem like it's not even worth sharing, but in a way that's what makes Twitter so useful. It's easy to follow along with things that are happening in real time and see people's reactions to them as they happen. You can also post your own tweets to share what's going on in your world or join a bigger conversation about a popular topic. Okay, so those are just the absolute basics of Twitter, but check out the rest of our tutorial to learn more.
Because Twitter is focused on short real-time updates, it's primarily used on mobile devices. As a result, this tutorial will mainly focus on how to use Twitter from your smartphone. However, if you're using Twitter on a laptop or desktop computer, you can still follow along. Twitter works just about the same on any device, and we'll be careful to point out any major differences. So first we're going to talk about creating a Twitter account. If you want to post your own updates on Twitter, you'll first need to create an account. There are two ways to do this. If you're using a desktop or laptop computer, go to www.twitter.com in your web browser. Or if you're using a mobile device like a smartphone or tablet, just download the Twitter app. Whichever option you choose, you want to select sign up and follow the instructions on the screen. The account creation process is straightforward enough, but here are some things you'll want to consider when signing up. Your username, also known as your Twitter handle, is an important part of your identity on Twitter. This is how people will recognize and connect with you, so it's important to choose something unique. And if the username you want is already taken, Twitter can usually suggest an alternative that's pretty close. So here is an example of a username. Then you'll want to add a profile and header photo. Pick people to follow. During this process, Twitter will prompt you to start following different accounts based on your interests. Many of the suggested users will be among Twitter's most popular, such as celebrities, politicians, and news organizations. But if you're not really sure how you'll use Twitter, you may want to skip this step for now. So it'll give you a list of things that you're interested in, you can pick and start following. Next is how to tweet. There are many ways to use Twitter. Some users might never post their own updates, which are called tweets, choosing instead to follow updates from other users. But many people enjoy tweeting about what's going on in their world, joining a bigger conversation. So we're going to watch this video on how to tweet.
There are a lot of different ways to use Twitter. Some users may never post anything on Twitter, choosing instead to follow updates from other people. But for other users, there might be a lot of value in sharing what's going on in your world and joining the conversation. Twitter makes it easy to get started. To post a tweet, you'll need to have your own Twitter account and be signed in. Now, I do want to point out that in this example, we're using the Twitter app for iPhone, but you should be able to follow these same basic steps to tweet from an Android device or from your web browser. Select the new tweet button. The tweet box will appear. Now you can type whatever you want to post to Twitter. Twitter is built for sharing things quickly, so every tweet is limited to just 140 characters. As you type, the counter at the bottom will tell you how many characters you have left. You'll see this actually goes into negative numbers if you use too many characters. You can usually find a way to cut down on the number of characters in a tweet, though. In this example, we're just going to delete a few things and replace them with a semicolon. When you're ready, select Tweet. By default, your tweet will be shared publicly, along with anyone else who follows you on Twitter. It'll also appear at the top of your Twitter timeline. A tweet doesn't just have to be text. For example, you can include a photo with your tweet. You'll start the same way by selecting the tweet button and typing your post. Then choose the camera icon. Then select a photo or use your device's camera to take a new one. In this example, I'm going to choose a photo that's already on my device. When you're ready, select Tweet, and there we go. Another common thing to share on Twitter are links to an article or video on a different website. To share a link, you can simply copy and paste it into your tweet. It's worth pointing out that Twitter will shorten the number of characters in a link automatically, so it doesn't really matter how long the URL to that page is. Once you've posted a link, anyone can select it to open that page. When you're browsing the web, you might often see the option to share that page on Twitter. Just select the tweet or Twitter icon to quickly create a new tweet with a link to that page. You can add any other comments you want, and that's it. Okay, just one more thing. If you want to share a tweet from someone else with the people that follow you, just select the retweet button below any post. It'll then be shared with everyone who follows you on Twitter, even if they don't follow the account that originally posted it. And that's it. Now you're ready to start tweeting and join the conversation on Twitter.
So that's a little video about posting a tweet. So just to review, to post a tweet, select the new tweet button near the top of the screen. Looks like this right here. The tweet box will appear and you can type what you want to post, then select tweet. Keep in mind that posts in Twitter are limited to 140 characters. The counter will tell you how many characters you have left as you type. The tweet will be shared publicly along with anyone who follows you on Twitter. It will also appear at the top of your timeline. You can also post other stuff to Twitter. For example, you can include a photo with your tweet. You want to click the icon here that looks like a camera. Select the new tweet button, then choose the camera icon. You can post a photo you've already taken or take a new one with your device's camera. You can also use Twitter to share links to different websites. To do this, you'll copy and paste the link known as a URL into your tweet. Anyone who follows you on Twitter can then select the link to open the page. And because links are usually pretty long, Twitter will automatically shorten the number of characters the link uses. So you can still include your own comments with the post. You can also retweet other posts. If you want to share a tweet from someone else, select the retweet button. Looks like this right here. The post will be shared with everyone who follows you on Twitter, even if they don't follow the original person who posted it. So the next thing we're going to talk about is hashtags. What are hashtags? Hashtags are a really important part of Twitter, but what exactly is a hashtag? Simply putting a hashtag is any word or phrase included with a tweet that starts with a hashtag symbol, which for us older folks looks like the number sign, which you also may know as a pound or number symbol. So why do people do this? When you include a hashtag in a tweet, you're basically categorizing that post. If you select a hashtag, you'll see other posts that have used it. This is an easy way to see what's happening on Twitter and follow along with popular topics. So we're going to watch a little video here about what is a hashtag.
Hashtags are a really important part of Twitter. But what is a hashtag anyway? Simply put, a hashtag is any word or phrase that's included in a tweet that starts with a hashtag symbol, which is also called the pound sign or number symbol. When someone includes a hashtag with a tweet, they're basically categorizing it. So why do people do this? Well, if you select a hashtag, you'll see other tweets that include it as well. This is an easy way to see what's happening on Twitter or follow along with a popular topic. Since the posts on Twitter are so short, a hashtag is often abbreviated. In this case, we're looking at the hashtag OTD, and based on these other tweets, it looks like that stands for on this date. So, on this date in history, all these different things have happened. Hashtags also make it easy to join in and become a part of this bigger conversation. To use a hashtag, just select the new tweet button. And you can see in this example, since we're already looking at the OTD hashtag, it was included automatically in our tweet. Now we'll type our post. And that's it. We just posted a tweet with a hashtag, and that means that anyone else looking at tweets related to that hashtag can find it easily. Hashtags are also an easy way to see what's popular or trending on Twitter. In this example, we're using the Twitter app for iPhone, so we're going to select the search box to see trending topics. The process should be pretty similar if you're using Twitter on a different device. In a desktop web browser, you'll see these under Trends. Just like before, we can select a hashtag to see more tweets about it. One other thing we'd like to mention are the search filters. If you're using the Twitter app, you'll select the search filters icon near the top. And if you're using Twitter on the desktop, you should be able to click anywhere in the search bar to access these same options. From here, you can narrow down your results to see only photos about this hashtag or only videos, Twitter users that might be relevant to this hashtag, or even just tweets from people you follow that include it. Alright, that's all we've got. Those are the basics of hashtags on Twitter.
So using hashtags, here's just a recap of the video. To use a hashtag, simply insert the hashtag symbol before any word or phrase when writing a tweet. In the example below, you see we're using hashtag sunset. We'll just talk about this and the hashtag sunset. After you've posted a tweet, you can select the hashtag to see other posts that use it. Tweets using that same hashtag will then appear. If you want to use multiple words in a hashtag, do not include any spaces. For example, if you wrote beach sunrise, only beach would be counted as the hashtag. Instead, you will want to format it like this. You can also browse popular hashtags. Select any hashtag to see more tweets about it. Tweets that include the hashtag will appear. You can also use the search filters to narrow down your results. Just select the search bar or filter icon to access these options. Filters will then appear. Select the one that you would like. Twitter is about more than just sharing your own updates. It also allows you to follow tweets from other users so you can see what's happening right now and connect with people who are important to you. We're going to watch this video here about following and connecting with people on Twitter.
Twitter is a lot more than just posting your own updates. It also allows you to follow tweets from other users so you can see what's going on and connect with the people who are important to you. In this example, I'm using the Twitter app for iPhone, so I'm going to select the More button to see a list of suggested users. And this process should be pretty similar if you're using Twitter on a different device. For example, in a desktop web browser, look for the Who to Follow box, then select View All. A list of suggested accounts to follow will appear, and if you see one you like, just tap the Follow button. If you change your mind, just tap the button again and select Unfollow to unfollow that user. When you start following someone, their tweets will appear in your timeline. If you want to connect with another Twitter user more directly, you can mention them in a tweet. This is also referred to as starting a conversation on Twitter. Select the new tweet button. Then type the @ symbol, followed by the username you want to mention in this post. Because you're using the @username system to do this, this is also called tweeting at somebody. When you tweet at someone like this, they'll receive a notification. They can then reply directly to you by choosing the reply button and then posting their message. And you'll see that it pulled in the @username part automatically here since this was already part of a conversation we started. Conversations can often span multiple tweets, and as a result, when you use Twitter like this, your tweets won't appear in your timeline by default. That's so your followers don't really have to look at this if they're not interested. But if you are posting something you want your followers to see, there's an easy option. Just put a period at the very beginning of your tweet. That will cause it to appear in your public timeline so anyone can see it. Okay, here's our reply. And we can see that these tweets are connected because they're part of the same conversation. One other thing we want to point out is the direct messaging feature. You can send a private message to anyone who follows you on Twitter, and it's not limited to 140 characters. That makes it a lot more like email, so if you're meeting people through Twitter, this is a great way to introduce yourself and reach out with just a little more information than you could normally include in a tweet. Just select the messages icon to see your options. From there, you can select any user you want and start sending them a message. So, how will you connect on Twitter? Now that you've seen all the options, you can think about them more carefully and choose the ones that work for you.
So when you start following someone on Twitter, that person's tweets will appear in your timeline. This is a great way to get updates about things as they happen. If you're using Twitter on a mobile device, select the follow button. If you're using Twitter on a desktop or web browser, locate and select View All. A list of suggested accounts to follow will then appear. Just select the follow button and start following an account. If you change your mind, you can select it again to unfollow that user. Follow button looks like that right there. If you want to connect with other people more directly, you can mention them in a tweet. This is also referred to as starting a conversation or tweeting at someone. So you're going to select a new tweet button, looks like this right here. Tweet box will appear and you're going to type the @ symbol followed by their username of the person that you want to mention in the tweet. In our example, we'll type Aaliyah Jones. When you tweet at someone like this, that person will receive a notification and they can choose to respond. By the same token, you can select the reply button to respond whenever someone tweets at you. There's the reply button right there. Because the conversation can span several tweets, they don't appear on your public timeline by default. This is so your followers won't have to keep up with the conversation you're sharing with a specific user. However, if you want to share with everyone, you can type the period before the @ symbol and then it will show up. You can also private message people on Twitter, and unlike regular tweets, private messages aren't limited to 140 characters. So to send a message, you're going to click the messages icon, like that right there, and choose the person you want to contact. Next, we're going to talk about customizing your profile and privacy settings. Looking to make your Twitter profile a bit more personal or make your tweets more secure? Twitter has several options for this. So we're going to watch a video about profile and privacy settings on Twitter.
Are you looking to make your Twitter profile just a bit more personal? Twitter has a lot of options you can use. Let's take a look. To get started, you'll need to navigate to your profile page. In this example, I'm using the Twitter app for iPhone, so I'm going to select the Me button to open my profile page. The process should be pretty similar if you're accessing Twitter from an Android device or from a desktop web browser, but the option might be in a different place. For example, on a web browser, you'll select the profile icon near the upper right corner, then choose View Profile. From here, select Edit Profile. Your profile settings will appear, and from here you can choose or add a different profile picture, a header image, which is the large photo behind your profile, your name, location, and if you want, you can add a little information about yourself in the bio section. When you're done, choose Save. We'd also like to show you some important privacy settings that allow you to control your experience on Twitter. To get started, just navigate to your settings from your profile page. If you're using a web browser, you'll select the profile icon near the upper right corner. But in the iPhone app, we're going to tap the gear, then choose Settings. And if you're on a mobile device, you'll need to choose the account you want to modify. Here in the privacy section, you'll see the option to protect your tweets. By default, everything you post on Twitter is public, which means that anyone can see it, even if you don't know who they are. If you want to control who can see your tweets, turn this setting on. Then you'll be able to approve anyone who requests to follow you on Twitter, and your tweets won't be shared publicly. By default, Twitter can show you advertisements based on the people you follow. If you'd prefer for Twitter not to use your information in this way, you can turn this setting off. When you're finished, select Save or Done to save your changes. Okay, that's all we've got. Now you're ready to customize your profile and protect your privacy on Twitter.
So that's a little bit about editing your Twitter profile and changing your privacy. To navigate your profile page, if you're using Twitter on mobile app, select the Me button. Looks like you right there. It's going to have your picture. For your desktop or web browser, select Profile icon near the upper right corner, and then choose View Profile. Locate, select Edit Profile. Your profile settings will then appear, and from here you can upload a new profile picture, header image, and add details to your bio section and more. When you're done, simply going to click the Save button. You can also adjust your privacy settings on Twitter. You're going to navigate to your profile page. If you're using the mobile app, locate and select the gear icon. Looks like this right here. If you're using a desktop browser, and select profile icon in the upper right corner, and then choose Settings. If you're using mobile device, you'll need to confirm which account you want to modify. Settings will appear. From here you can locate and enable the option to protect my tweets. This will allow you to approve who can see your posts. Select Done or Save to save your changes. So for more resources about Twitter, there's several options. Twitter has an official blog, a help center, Twitter for Business, and Mashable, the beginner's guide to Twitter. So that is our Twitter webinar, and that is our Technology Thursday webinar for Thursday, July 12th. I want to thank everybody for joining me. Again, if you would like to join us for our leadership presentation on July 31st, we'll be at the OCO training room at 10 a.m. and at 6 p.m. talking about board recruitment. If you want to get credit for watching this or any of our videos on YouTube, simply email me, bradley-wagnon@cherokee.org, with the name of your organization, how many people watched, and tell me a little bit about what you watched, something that you learned. If you want to get TA credit for watching our webinars or any of our training videos. Just want to say thank you for being with me, and we will see you soon. Well done.